This is Pilot Boiz #1. My name is Caesar.
Hi, my name is Santos.
And in this podcast, we're going to be reviewing pilots to TV shows. This is our first episode. So, anything that stuck out to you over the weekend? Anything you watched? Anything you enjoyed?
Not really. A bunch of wrestling. Nothing special.
Okay.
Couldn't go out much.
Gotcha.
Really rainy.
I was actually really sick. I did catch A Wrinkle in Time, the new Ava DuVernay movie, which I didn't really enjoy.
Would you say it was trash?
You know, I think it's a harsh term to call that movie trash for what it means.
AKA it was trash.
I don't know, man. I feel the same way I feel about Black Panther because it's such a it's an important movie because there's not much like it. I mean, it's about a little girl who goes and explores like space. So I think it's a bold movie and I'm glad it exists, but I don't think it was great. I think it was shitty child actors. It's a big budget movie with like a bunch of shitty CGI. I would recommend it to kids, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who likes movies.
Isn't a kid?
Yeah, and I think it's definitely Ava DuVernay's worst film. But anyways, let's get into it. So the pilot we're going to be reviewing today is called Champions. It's a new TV show by Mindy Kaling and Charlie Grandy. And it's about this guy who...
He's kind of a bit of a loser.
Yeah, he's kind of like a guy like down on his luck, and him and his brother own a gym.
It also sounds like he gets into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he gets into a lot of trouble, and he just kind of makes poor decisions. So the basis of the show is he has this gym, which he owns with his brother, and he wants to sell it because basically his life in New York, in Brooklyn, didn't really pan out the way he wanted to. So he wants to sell this gym and move to Florida. But little does he know that one of the women that he slept with
15 years ago.
Yeah, in their freshman year of college, she had a kid with him.
No, my friend. This was in high school.
Was it really?
Yes.
I thought it was in college.
Remember they fight about it because they got accepted to different schools.
Oh, true. You're right.
Yeah.
So then she comes and she basically wants to give the child over to him because he didn't get accepted into the school that he had applied in New York.
He needed somewhere to live.
Yeah, so and this kid, I mean, the kid is one of the best parts, I think. His name is JJ Toa. He's like a very like animated kid. He's a queer boy, which is great because there's not much representation for that for like a queer Middle Eastern boy. He's supposed to be half Indian and white. So he's like a biracial kid, but he's actually like Lebanese or like Palestinian. Smart
mouth kid.
Yeah.
Very funny.
And the dad is Anders Holmvik, or Anders Holm, I guess. That's was his name. That's not.
What?
Because in Workaholics, it's Holmvik. But I guess it's just like an extension. You know what I mean? Like how they add different names. Because everybody in Workaholics, of which he's one of the Workaholics, they just changed everybody's last name, or they extended it,
and then they just use it for the show.
Exactly. So everybody has the same name.
I still gotta watch.
And he's also one of the Mindy alum. Okay. So it feels like a natural. This show to me felt like it was a natural extension of the Mindy Project, which is a great show that I loved, except for the last season. I thought the last season underperformed for me. It wasn't great.
Okay. Question.
What's up?
Does she come out in Workaholics?
Mindy?
Yes.
No, Mindy doesn't.
Okay.
And I think it's such a vastly different show, like Workaholics to Mindy Project. Like the comedy's different. The way that they write the humor is a lot different. The way they shoot it, and their target audience is way different.
Of course.
Like Mindy is obviously one of those people who comes from. She's kind of the new school of sitcoms, but she's also rooted in like the old stuff, where like it's still very like hijinks and like situational comedies kind of thing, but she knows her stuff. Whereas Anders was a little more like alt and indie. So to me, it's kind of refreshing to see him in this space because you can see his performance is like rooted in that indie kind of alt humor.
Okay.
But it works pretty well in this show.
Now I kind of wish I've seen Workaholics so I can tell the difference.
Yeah, because Workaholics to me was one of the great like modern comedies because it's a little different in that it's not traditional because you'll get like...
It's not skits, right?
No, it's not skits. It's like a workplace comedy, but it's also just these dudes, like these three like bumbling idiots who just like do things. And Anders is supposed to be like the brains of the operation. It's kind of like a modern, like Three Stooges, like a Three Stooges Redux. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, anyway, so after she comes and she says, "Well, this is your kid," they start to form a bond, I guess. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh, wait, who are you talking about? You're talking about the kid?
Child, yeah. What's the child's name?
Michael, I believe.
Yeah, so the mom, Mindy, which her name is Priya, she goes to meet Anders, which is, what's his name? Vince? Yes. So Priya goes to meet Vince and in his gym. Michael kind of gets away from her and he finds out that he's going to sell the gym, which again is part of the like hijinks, like the whoa, how did this happen kind of sitcom themes or
they kind of all connect together later on.
Happen in sitcoms. Yeah, so then she kind of just says, "Oh yeah, well, this is your child and I need you to take care of him." And then they start talking about how her life was really hard having to take care of the kid on her own. And so yeah, then that's kind of like the basis of the pilot.
I also kind of like how he's like self-aware, like how he like defends her. Like, you know how when at one point Vince is like talking negatively about her with the brother. Yeah. And then he defends her. I mean, you know, kids are kind of brats. Yeah. You know, they don't see that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I liked about Michael so much is that he's not like a Manny from Modern Family in that, like, because Manny's obviously like the smart kid, like the genius kid where like everything he says, everybody knows that he's supposed to be the smartest person in the room. This kid is like, he's obviously very smart, but he also has like a heart, and he also
very likable.
To me, he seems like an extension of Mindy from the Mindy Project in that like he's kind of quirky, kind of wears his heart on his sleeve, but he's also like smarter. You know what I mean?
And the pop culture references.
Yeah, he has like a bunch of pop culture references from like.
I think she does the same thing.
And that's why I think it's most obvious where like those pop culture references obviously are not during his generation. Like they're way before his time. I think another thing that I really liked was Andy Favreau, which is Vince's brother.
And you thought you wouldn't like him.
I thought I wasn't gonna like him because Santos said that he was super handsome.
Extremely.
I mean, to me, he just looks like a very traditionally looking white male.
As soon as you see this guy on screen, you'll instantly love the guy.
Yeah, he has so much charisma. His name is Matthew. And I think that's one of the great parts of this, the first episode, is the opening salvo, like the very first scene of the show is this like kind of like this microcosm of what the series is going to be about or what their interactions will be, which is this guy comes in to accuse Vince of sleeping with his wife. Yeah. And he pulls out a gun on him. And then again, there's more like funny sitcom situations where he's like, "Oh, the guy who's gonna shoot Vince says, "Oh, well, I don't get why my wife would sleep with Vince, but I get why she would sleep with Matthew." Yeah. And Matthew's like, "Oh, thanks. I appreciate that comment." And I mean, it's just the charisma and the way he carries himself is great.
They do a really good job of blending the like real life situations with the antics.
Yeah, definitely. I think
they do a really good job.
So I guess we can talk about the style of the show. I think the comedy is very reminiscent of something like, because to me, the Mindy Project felt like Mindy Kaling trying to distance herself a little bit from The Office.
It started that way anyway.
Yeah, I think so. Because, I don't know, because since the first season, it never felt like it was The Office. Because it's hard to even call it something close to The Office, because The Office, the main thing about The Office is
the style was totally different.
Yeah, because The Office is based on like that.
Like there was a setting with the workplace, but it was completely different.
Yeah, it was way different. Yeah. And I think the Mindy Project really came into its own in the later seasons. It was kind of a rough start, but it really came into it. Yeah, a lot of the comedy in this show, to me at least, came off like hijinks, like these melodrama stuff that just comes from like being in a sitcom world. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's kind of like a multi-camera where it's not like recorded on a live studio or anything like that. It's just like
it's just
of
Brooklyn,
dad meeting his father again. But I think what makes it different to me...
Yeah, nothing special in that aspect. But it's just... I think this is more character-based.
Yeah, it's definitely character-based. And I think what makes it different for me, and usually with sitcoms like this, is the way you make yourself different is by including some new character that isn't traditional to the sitcom space. JJ Toa, which is Michael, he's a gay boy. And this is usually... Because it's in sitcoms, it's always like... very small progressions. Like for Modern Family, it was a gay couple and they were kind of in the sidelines. They weren't like the main characters, and they never really did anything too crazy. Like they barely kissed like recently, I believe, right? Like this season or last season.
I stopped watching that show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that we're like avid fans of that show, but what I'm saying is like they don't really do much. And this character, he's a boy, which is, I mean, I think that says a lot for... He's
already the main plot of the show.
Yeah, I think it says a lot for who... It's kind of like you're already making a bold statement with the first episode, and you're already showing that this kind of stuff happens at such a young age, and I think it makes for a good comedy, and I think it makes for...
They did a good job of presenting him and who he is, where he comes from.
And he's very talented. I thought the kid was very talented. Yeah, he had like a lot of comedic presence.
I've seen him in Spider-Man. He's just a background character in high school. Yeah.
I actually don't remember him in Spider-Man. What did he do?
Huh? He just tells... he's having a conversation with one of the girls because... I forgot her name.
Was it Zendaya?
No, the other one. The one he falls in love with. The daughter of
fucking Michael Keaton.
Yeah, there you go. So she's like in love with Spider-Man. And remember they're doing the PE.
What does he say? I don't fucking remember.
Oh my god. I remember his face. That's why. And he had the same tone of voice. That's how I was able to remember.
I think for him, like it's not just the way he delivers his lines, which I think the kid is gay, by the way. And if he's not gay, he's definitely...
He does a really good job.
He's like an advocate for LGBT rights.
What?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Oh, did you?
And apparently he's like super talented, and like he's like a writer, and like...
How old is he?
He's 15.
Is he really 15?
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think it's just it's the mannerisms and the way he carries himself that's just very like... It reminded me of Titus from
You're talking about Netflix?
Unbreakable?
Yeah.
And like he carries him like Titus is both the comedy delivery, but it's also the way he carries himself in that like any little thing is you always know that it's Titus. And I think it's the same thing with Michael, in that every scene that he's in, you can always tell what he's doing. Like even in the very last scene, which is like the post-credits scene, he does that like little eye flourish, and you're like, yeah, that's him. Like, he does a good job with the comedic presence.
Okay.
So yeah, the themes I think it's just like an estranged father who's like kind of a loser. He has to kind of get his life together because he meets his dad or whatever.
Yeah, the debt with him will
because he meets his son.
A little interesting later on.
Yeah.
When I'm sure that it wasn't just him blowing up a gas station by smoking a joint. Yeah.
So that's supposed to be like the reason why.
Eventually we'll get the episode where they show all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm interested in him. It wasn't like a very unordinary concept. We've seen this a ton of times in television.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, the way he presented it, you're totally intrigued by the first episode. I mean, I want to see more.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I think it's cool in that like it's a good recipe for comedy where you get people who have worked in comedy, which is Mindy Kaling. I mean, she's been great so far.
The main guy.
The main dude, Anders, he is also someone who has like a big comedic presence. And I think everyone else that they've casted
the other co-creator, great. Charlie Grandy.
Yeah, he was also... They worked together on Mindy Project, and he worked on The Office. So I think having that background in comedy makes for good comedy.
Okay.
So let's get into... What did you think? Like, what was the overall rating? What would you rate it?
Overall, it was a strong pilot. I'm in like the way I see pilots is I have to be interested, and by the end of the show I want to watch the next episode.
Okay.
So this one I do want to see what goes on next with these three guys. They do a really good job at establishing the relationship between Michael and his uncle, I thought.
Yeah, I think so too.
They
and I
did,
thought that was one of the best
that was one of the best scenes,
best
in the whole
jokes.
thing.
Where
Yeah,
he's like, I always wanted to meet my father. And he's like, oh,
yeah.
so you ever want to meet your uncle?
You can already yeah. So you can already tell they're gonna get in a bunch of hijinks together. Those two. There's gonna be a ton of episodes revolved around those two and their adventures together. So, I think I'd give it a.
Hold on. All right. Should we do a 5 or should we do 10?
See, that's where we're different because you love your 5.
All right. Let's do. For me,
We can do 5.
We'll do 5. All right.
We can do 5 stars.
You want to do 5 broken TVs, or do you want to do 5 satellite dishes?
Oh my god.
What do you want to do?
All right, we can do 5 broken TVs. That's pretty good.
All right.
That's pretty
So,
good. I'm not gonna lie.
From 1 to 5 broken TVs, or for you 1 to 10 broken TVs, what would you give it?
We'll do 1 through 5. Relax. All right. So I'm gonna say this is. I really want to give it 4. I really do, but I don't see. I'm gonna say, can we do 3.8?
Okay.
I feel 3.8 is a great score.
Some fractions of it.
Yeah, we can do
some decimals.
Yeah, you can do.
Okay.
It's almost a 4 for me. I didn't like the other background character, the girl.
Fortune Feimster, the one who was also in the mini project.
No,
His girlfriend.
No. She was amazing. Talking about the white girl.
The white girl.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one that used the shower.
That's what I'm talking about.
She was in the mini project.
Feimster. Yeah, she's like
am I
in
not
the
surprised?
later season.
I wasn't too fond of her. She seemed a little
I don't
basic
know. I
for
think
me.
to me, she was cool. I liked her in the mini project.
Like they gave the girlfriend so much more.
Yeah, I think so too. I just feel like her character kind of feels like just understated, and there wasn't much to her. But yeah, I can see that. All
right. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3.8. I feel that's a fair score.
Okay. So for me, my thoughts about this, I feel like this was a pretty good pilot. I think it was definitely enough. I can see why it got greenlit. There's a lot of presence and there's a lot of stuff going on. It seems like they have a great foundation for something that could go on for a couple seasons maybe. I really like I really like JJ Toa, which was Michael. I thought that he was great. I thought that he really had a like strong, funny presence, but also just like he was just enjoyable to watch. Andres was great as always, and I thought the brother, Andy Favreau, what was his name again? Yeah, he was just so good.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
He was
I actually lulled.
I want to say he's a standout, but I can't discredit JJ Tola. How do you say his name?
Yeah, JJ Toa.
Yeah, I feel that he was.
I think he was a standout. But I think Andy Favreau just did such a good job.
Yeah. Eventually, these two are going to make magic on screen.
I think so too.
It's just inevitable. And I think
I'm going to have to agree with the comment that you said about the side characters. I didn't really care for them that much either. And I like Mindy, but it felt like such a like this episode is just staging what's to come, and that like she obviously created the series. But to me, it felt a little bit like when you create a series and you're only in it to set it off and then just kind of leave. Kind of like how, like various series, like they just started off and they just kind of dip because they don't want to stay on it forever because they got bigger shit to do.
Okay.
It kind of felt like that for me.
Did the guy from Breaking Bad do that with Better Call Saul?
No, he's still
on there?
Yeah,
okay. All right. He's just a little side question. Yeah.
Which is why that show's so good.
I was going to say that was my next scene. But you know what? We didn't talk about Mindy as an actor in this show. I was just about to get to that.
It's hard for me to talk about Mindy sometimes because I think Mindy works best when she's funny.
Okay.
I thought some of the weakest moments at times was when Mindy was like a serious actor in the Mindy Project. There are certainly times where like she did a really good job, but I think every time that she was like acting seriously, she was acting alongside someone who was much more talented than she was. At least I think so, which is probably problematic to say. Like Danny is a great actor. Danny Castellano. The dude who plays him, he was great.
Yeah,
he was
cool.
Obviously, I mean,
he was Italian, right?
Yeah, he's Italian.
Yeah.
Dude. And I think for Mindy, like the moments that were funny, but it also just felt like it was all just set up, and she's gonna be leaving soon.
I hope not. I hope they can do something with her. I'm sorry, and Vince.
I think so too, but it's also like, how can you stretch yourself so thin? Like Mindy's involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's like real big now.
Yeah,
did you see that tweet that BJ Novak?
That was
so amazing.
Sweet,
yeah, that was awesome.
So
I root for her.
Yeah,
I root for her. I root for him too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he looks like a decent guy, and he's talented too.
Yeah, he definitely is. Which is why he was involved in the Mindy as like a producer.
Yeah,
and
he's. I'm sure they're great friends, but that was extremely nice.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Yeah, it touched my heart a little.
For those who aren't aware, he like tweeted out a picture of a billboard for A Wrinkle of Time, which I guess is topical. I didn't realize.
Wait, wasn't it? She used to live there.
Yeah. No. So I'm saying it's topical because at the beginning of the show we talked about Wrinkle of Time in time, and I didn't realize that I had talked about it subconsciously.
That's awesome
because of the show. Anyway, so he tweets out, or I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah,
he posted this picture about Mindy from A Wrinkle in Time, with her character as the poster in front of this hotel on Fairfax in Hollywood, where she used to be, or where she used to sleep in.
Yeah.
And he talks about how like she was really struggling, and now she's in this huge big budget movie, and like she's doing well for herself now. So it was just sweet to see the way that he supports
progression.
Yeah, he supports someone that he acted on screen with, or someone that he's worked with. It kind of reminded me, I don't know if you saw it, where Jordan Peele won.
Oh, I did.
That was so fucking sweet.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the other guy's name.
Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
So he was like,
that was
teary-eyed.
Yeah. And he got on his feet and everything. Yeah.
That was so sweet.
So amazing. Yeah. We root for these guys.
When we win our Oscar, I'll probably forget about you, honestly.
I wouldn't be surprised one bit.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go with, I don't think it's a 4. If it was a 4, I think there would have been a lot less fluff and a lot less setup. But I think it'd be like a 3.5 for me, because I thought it was solid. I think I'd definitely keep watching. It's better than some of the other sitcoms that are out there right now, like Grownish.
Oh, God, guys. We don't talk about that here.
But yeah, I enjoyed it overall. So let me ask you, how long do you think it'll last?
It's on NBC, right?
Yeah,
because we all know Fox. I'll
wait. What's the last big NBC show that's been out?
I have no idea. Besides The Voice,
dude, NBC like fell off pretty fucking hard after Community. They haven't really had much.
No, NBC. No, Community was NBC.
Yeah, right?
I thought it was CBS. No. All right then. I've never seen that either, but. Childish Gambino.
Dude, I haven't seen any NBC shows. Because wasn't Mindy Project part of the NBC?
No, she was on Fox, remember?
Was she really?
Yeah, and classic Fox.
Well, I guess Parks and Rec and 30 Rock.
But that was a long time ago.
That was their heyday. Oh, I guess Superstore. I watched the pilot too. That was alright.
Okay. We can do that on a flash.
They're on the 3rd season.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, so we used to watch her in high school, right?
Fucking Mindy Kaling?
Yeah. I mean, we watched The Office.
I watched the senior year. I came really late to The Office.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we both did. And
Carmichael show was really good.
Yeah, NBC and comedy. This show got canceled, and I loved it. Outsourced. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was different for me. I liked it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, they've not had anything that stuck. Carmichael show came out recently, and it was pretty good. It was on for a few years, but They canceled it.
This could be the resurgence NBC needs.
I don't know, man. I feel like they've been down in the dumps. I mean, they haven't had since their heyday. I don't know. Would you consider the Parks, 30 Rock, Office, Community Block their heyday, or would you consider Seinfeld and Friends?
Oh, I would have to check the ratings on those. But I don't know. Friends was huge.
Because, I mean, Seinfeld and Friends only had like 4 years when they were on together. Yeah. Because Seinfeld came out a lot earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, Friends was huge.
Yeah, Friends changed the game.
Friends was a huge, guys.
That was fucking terrible.
We have different opinions on that. But we'll save that for another cast.
So,
yeah.
Predictions.
Sorry, back to predictions. I'm going to give it 6. I think 6 seasons is safe.
Oof.
Yeah, I think six is safe.
Generous.
Do you think so?
That's fucking generous.
Nah, I think 6. I don't know. A sitcom like this, I think will work.
Fam, I don't know about that.
That's
fucking generous.
Nah, I give it 6. Yikes. I think NBC does a good job.
They didn't even give Mindy fucking 3 seasons. Well, I guess it was Fox.
But that was Fox. Yeah, I think NBC does a good job at not giving up sometimes. I mean, Outsourced, I'm honestly surprised it lasted what it lasted.
I don't know.
So I think 6 is safe for me.
I'm gonna say,
but hey, it might not even last the whole season.
I'm gonna say 2 seasons and a Netflix revival. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't see like shows like this. Like I think the pilot was good, but I think this is one of those shows where like it could get better in mid-series or in the second season, kind of like Mindy Project.
Mm-hmm.
So unless it gets like crazy hilarious in like the second season, I don't see it going past a third season.
We haven't even finished the first season. So.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, that's the issue with predicting on just one episode.
Yeah. But hey, that's what we do in Pilot Boiz.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We make shitty predictions.
Hey. If this thing goes 6 seasons, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Shit, we're not even gonna go 6 seasons.
You thought.
Anyway, so yeah, I would say 2, maybe 3 with a Netflix revival, or maybe an Amazon Prime revival.
Oh,
because that's unheard of.
Okay, but $99 a year.
Yeah, your boy ain't got that kind of money.
Thank God for the internet. Am I right?
TBH, F movies up.
Anyway,
so yeah. I think that's gonna do it for our first episodes. Any other closing words?
No, not really, guys. Stay tuned for our next one. But yeah, I mean, it was a good one, decent one for our first.
Yeah, check it out. It was definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, it's good checking out. I think this will do good. I think this will do well.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll do well.
It'll do well if depending on the ratings, I guess. But I think just based on the performances and like. What's there, I think it's pretty good.
Rooting for Mindy will obviously be enough for me to keep watching.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I watched it.
Yeah, so...
All right, that's going to do it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Go ahead.
No, it's too late.
Go ahead.
I don't forgive you.
Stupid bitch.
I forgot what I was going to say, so just...
All right, well, that's going to do it for Pilot Boiz. And that'll be it.
Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball.
Oh, my fucking God.
By the way, guys, Dragon Ball Super is amazing. Don't let anyone tell you not to.
This will be edited out in post.
Trash.
All right, bye, guys. Sign off, bitch.
Oh. Trash.
You're the dumbest bitch.